Welcome to the channel and this little tip on doing interior door panels. This is on the 63 Mercury. Me and boys kind of got ripping and had everything apart, so I just put this back on real quick to show a couple of tool tips and better ways of taking things apart. As you can see, this panel's in pretty rough shape actually, and it's going to be all completely recovered. But I just wanted to show how to use some tools, and I'm going to get right to it. So most manual buttons and even some power locks, you'll find that the button cover on it actually just screws off. You can see, you remove it in the ring, as easy as that. Many panels in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s have clips holding the panel into holes in the inner portion of the door. This one in particular doesn't have them across the bottom because it actually has a trough that the panel sits in. But these clips, there is actually a couple of tools available for them. This one's the snap-on version, and you can see that it goes in and then pulls up so that you're safely doing it without actually damaging the panel. These ones also work. It's called a button tool, I believe, and it also goes into the panel and gives you some pry. I prefer this one because it tends to not cause any damage, and I'll just show you real quick how to use it. This is not the correct tool for it. A screwdriver will do the job, but more than likely what you're going to do is you're going to chip the paint on the inner door, as well as you may cause damage to the panel, making it misshapen. So I'm going to show you how to use this tool. I'll get the seam of the door up here. So you want to find where the clip actually is. So in this case, the clip is about here. And if you can get the tool to be right under the clip, you can see how it just pops it right out of the inner door. Same with this one. It just easily takes it out of its place. So now this is completely free. Of course, it was already undone, so it's not as tight as it once was. The door handle itself actually has a Phillips screw holding it on. So you just remove the Phillips screw, and then this slides right off of the spline shaft that it sits on. This is the door release for opening the door from inside. There was a couple of Phillips screws on the outside, one up top on that side, one up top on that side. When you get into newer models, you definitely want to run your fingers around and make sure there's no other Phillips screws holding it on. I've seen them come up from the bottom. I've seen cavities at the bottom that hold them to the lower portion of the door, but you definitely want to make sure that those are all out and everything is free. I didn't pop the back ones in. So the other tool I really wanted to show you is actually for this crank. Many different types of cranks are out there for manual windows and that. And this is actually the proper tool for it. It's actually a really cheap tool. And I don't mean to give a shout out to Summit, but they actually have one that has this end on one end, and it actually has the pry portion on the other end so that you can pop the clip. So it's kind of a two-in-one tool. But this little sucker has a clip in the back, and it locks onto a spline shaft behind it. In a pinch, I've done them with this tool as well, but it is actually really difficult to get it in there and push the panel away enough to get the clearance. So you just take this tool and you slide it in from the door handle side in most cases, in between the washer, and there's a clip in there that you can actually feel when it goes on to the, it is all the way on and it has pushed the clip, and then you just pry lightly and it pops right off. So you can see how this clip is affected by the tool. It pushes it out of the way, releasing it off the grooved portion of this spline shaft, because there's a groove just in front of it that this actual clip locks on. As a matter of fact, I'll take the clip off and I'll just show you it. Of course, there we go. So yeah, it's a different shaped clip, but many models use this clip. And I can warn you too that when you pop them off, sometimes this sucker goes flying, and yeah, you want to keep it if you don't have spares. And then before you put the handle back on, you just snap that back on, and when you shove it back on, that clip will grab in the center and your handle will be locked in place. The only other thing I did want to show you is that more newer cars have this type of a clip that the door panel would be held on by, but it's the same idea. It just pushes in with the plastic, locking it into a hole, and this tool can get in behind it and then pop it away from the inner door panel. And then you just slide your panel off, and that's all there is to the job. Hopefully this helps somebody along the way, and thanks for watching.